everyone, welcome back to In Between
with Mandy.
Yeah. Today we have Jasmine Wallace with us. She is currently the Meg cover. She's actually on for Meg today. How are you feeling about that? Is it going good?
Excited. I like a Saturday double show. It's always nice to go on for a double show.
And she's also the onstage swing, which means she knows all the ballet track and like she steps in when we're off. And she's the trident. To start off with, you were first in a touring ballet company.
Yes.
After you graduated from Central. Then you were on Phantom Tour and then now Phantom on the West End.
Yeah.
Looking back, how do you think your relationship with the stage changed, like in terms of growth or like stamina, finding your peace?
Yeah. I guess stamina. So yeah, I was in a ballet touring company. We were based in London, but we would tour daily. Daily touring. I know, when I think about it now, I'm like, I can't believe I used to like do that. Like I could not imagine doing that now, but I guess I was in my early 20s. It's my first job. I was like, I just want to dance. I just want to dance at the ballet. So I suppose I didn't like think it was as crazy at the time. But when I think about it, it was mad. We were based in Hammersmith in London. We'd get on the tour bus in Hammersmith. We'd like drive 3 hours away, get to the theatre. In every theatre, we'd have to do a spacing call because every theatre, every day was like a complete different size space. So you'd do a spacing call class. And then we would do like full-length ballets. Like we did everything like Swan Lake, Nutcracker, Giselle, Gopadia. So you'd do a show and then you'd get on the coach at night and then you could like drive 2 hours to the hotel, get to the hotel, wake up the next day, back on the coach, go like 2 hours, get to another theatre. And the shows we were doing, like they were intense ballets. So I feel like my stamina was really good then because we would do like double show days of Swan Lake. It was quite a small company. So like in bigger ballet companies, you might have 2 casts or the quarter ballet, you might not do like everything. But because we were a small ballet, we would do like everything. But like in Nutcracker, I feel like if you're a ballet fan or ballet dancer, you can appreciate this. We would be in like party scene, and then you'd quick change into Mice and Soldier, then you'd quick change into Snowflake, and then you'd do a diver, like I would do Merlotons, and then you'd quick change into Waltz of the Flowers. So you were just like on stage, like I was
did it all.
Fit. And then I suppose the difference in a ballet company to musical theatre is before the shows we would do a full hour-and-a-half ballet class. Which is the difference in musical theatre, where you come in, you do like a physical warm-up, which is sort of like 10 minutes or something, and then do the show. So I did feel like very physically fit.
Not burnt out though, like not fatigued.
I guess the difference between the ballet companies and musical theatre is musical theatre, we have to sustain it. Like it's a year contract. You're doing 8 shows a week for the year. Where in a ballet company we would have seasons. We do like 2 seasons a year. So you do a winter season, summer seasons. You'd have a month of rehearsals, but in that month you could learn 2 or 3 ballets. And then we would tour for 3 or 4 months, and then we'd have a month off, and then we would start again. So it was crazy, but then you'd have that sort of month complete break, which I think is the only way to like sustain doing daily touring.
A daily tour.
I don't think you can do daily touring for a year. I think I learned a lot in a ballet company, sort of being a professional dancer in that working environment, learn how to be like a quarter ballet member, like your spacing, and be so like spatially aware of what everyone else is doing. We didn't have swings in the same way, so there were times I remember going on once and doing Little Red Riding Hood in Sleeping Beauty, which I wasn't a cover for, but it's like, you're going on, you're doing this. I guess I was quite young at the time for my first job, and you just sort of like throw yourself into it. But like, show must go on. And I definitely learned a lot. I think I was quite a different performer then. But when I came to coming into musical theatre, I noticed sort of the acting and everything was so different to being in a ballet company. It's like, in the scene work, everyone's like acting like real reactions,
and normal,
and I remember really struggling that actually when I came to Phantom, like in the Hannibal scene.
I struggled to speak at first.
So even that's a weird thing, just being able to speak on stage, because in a ballet company, even if you're around the stage dressed in the stage, you mime and you don't actually speak.
What about personally? Do you think from back then, like in a ballet company till now, like did you
I think I was a lot shyer. I graduated from Central School of Ballet, and then I had about a year and a half before I got into this ballet company. I was at Pineapple all the time, doing classes, doing auditions. Now I've been graduated like 10 years, so now I've got a bit more of an understanding of the industry and how things work. I realised like a year and a half out of work is nothing. Like it's totally fine. But obviously when you're in it, and I didn't have any perspective of life, I think I was worried. I think I felt a big stress of, when you leave school and you've done like all your training and you feel like you're so disciplined, you're so strong, you're so fit, you're like ready to go. I kind of felt like as time was ticking away, like, oh, if I don't get the first job soon, then I'm gonna lose it all, and
Yeah.
everything I've trained for. Sort of keeping up momentum and not losing the motivation for it. I just felt like time was slipping away. I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to do Phantom. That was like the dream. I knew that's what I wanted to do. I'd done quite a few auditions for Phantom. I'd always get so far, never quite get it. And I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to do ballet. But I was like, I've been to ballet school, maybe feel a bit of pressure because we start ballet so young that you're like, oh, I've put all of my eggs in one basket. And then what if I don't do it? And I had a lot of self-doubt of being like, oh, I don't know if I'm good enough to do it. And then was lucky and able to get into this ballet company, and I'm really grateful for that time. I think on reflection, I wish I'd enjoyed being in a ballet company more when I was there. I think the whole time I was there, I sort of always had this feeling of, it's great, but it's not like the dream job. So I was like, I want to be in Phantom, that's a dream. I can be proud of that. I think you feel like you have to tick this off this time as well. Yeah.
Now that you're in Phantom, you've actually done it all, because as the cover, you do like all the roles. What do you think is the biggest difference between going to Swing and going into Meg?
Maybe the difference is how prepared you are. So for when you're a cover, obviously you do all your cover rehearsals. So you have sort of like 2 or 3 weeks. You do it on stage, you get to space it out, you do the tech runs, you're doing it on stage in costume. Lights, everyone around you. So then when you go on for the debut, like obviously you're nervous and all of this, but you're like, I've done this, I know I've done it, I know what it's going to feel like. Being a Swing's different in the way that you learn all the tracks, but you don't get like a cover run when you're a Swing. So like the first time you're doing it, it's showtime. And I suppose, especially something like your track, like the butterfly, you know, like that masquerade costume. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, like the heels, the mask, the headpiece, the wings. The wings that very easily get attached to the headpiece, as I found out the first time I went on.
Did you?
Jeté. I just sort of like, and next thing I know, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm cool. So I suppose the difference in the Swing is maybe you figure it out a bit more as you're doing it. I feel like being a Swing's taught me to like be kinder to myself. Because I think as dancers, we're all naturally a bit like perfectionists, and every time I want to go on stage, I want it to be perfect. But there are going to be little slight things where I'm going to be like, okay, now I've done that track, I realise in this bit I need to be a bit more over, or I need to enter a little bit quicker to stage, and those little things. Being like, okay, it might take a couple of times to like feel like I get that track.
Giving yourself grace. And like takes time.
And the nice thing about, you know, doing the show so many times is you're going to get the chance to go on, do that track, and then do it again. It's not something I maybe thought I would be good at. I think it's not something I maybe thought like, oh, I'm desperate to do.
So you didn't ask to be a
No, I didn't ask. Yeah, I got offered after my second year. Sort of my agent called me and sort of saying that they've got this offer, you've been on stage Swing. So I think that was, I feel, I hadn't like thought about it as an option as well. So I was a bit like, okay, cool, I'll give it a go. So it was like a nice surprise. So it was great that I've been able to do it. Very lucky.
Did you get nervous about going on for Meg?
I don't actually. I feel quite calm. Maybe that surprised myself as well. You know, obviously like people ask, like we went to ballet school, like singing isn't something we've done for years, isn't something we sort of trained in. You know, we've both had to start singing lessons since being in a musical. It's like a new skill we have. I suppose there is that element of like, oh, okay, I'm singing on stage. This isn't something I prepared my whole life to do. But I think I'm quite good at like reminding myself, like if I get a bit nervous, I think, okay, I know I go to like regular singing lessons. I know I like go through the stuff by myself. I'm doing everything I can. Do you know what I mean? To set myself in the best way for the show. I kind of like do the work behind the scenes. So I think you have to like trust yourself. And I think I'm in a place in my sort of career where I can have a bit more sort of self-assurance. It's weird, like I really wanted to do Phantom like straight out of school. I auditioned when I was in 3rd year. It didn't happen. But I think doing Phantom now is like the right time for me. I think if I'd been lucky enough to get it then, I think I was way too like not self-assured enough, and I think I wouldn't have
achieved as much.
I had this kind of confidence.
Where do you think that self-assurance came from?
I think it came from experiences which really knocked me down. And then like having to do the work to like build me up. There's sort of 2 experiences that really like stand out in my career that I really see as like changing moments. There were times that like felt really bad in the moment. I suppose now hindsight I can be like, they were bad, but I feel like I've learned from that. Like obviously as performers, like rejection is part of the process.
Happen.
It's gonna happen. Like you can't avoid it. It is gonna happen. It is a learning curve. understanding that, like getting through that. I feel like there were a couple of moments where it felt like more intense rejection in my career. First one actually was when I was in this ballet company. I think I'd done 2 seasons, and I remember coming in for the first day of my 3rd season. I was in ballet class, and the director called me and another girl out of the studio at the end of class.
Okay.
So we sort of go out, and like in ballet company, I always sort of feel like it feels a little bit more still like school-esque. Like obviously you are an adult and you're a professional, but it's still that you can imagine like the natural ballet vibe. It's like, oh no, I'm in trouble.
Exactly.
And the director said to me and this other girl, she said, you can start the season. She was like, but I'm not sure on you both. She was like, you can come to rehearsals. She was like, I'm not sure if you two are gonna go on the tour though.
Oh my days.
Yeah, and obviously I'm like, oh, okay.
That's horrible.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to go to work anymore.
Yeah. So I like walk back into rehearsals. I guess I keep coming into work every day feeling so insecure, feeling like, oh, I'm not good enough. Like I'm looking at everyone else, being like, oh, like what do I need to do to be like them? Or like what's wrong with me? You know, and I'd been in the company for 2 seasons already. Like they'd seen me as a dancer. So I'm thinking, oh God, what is it that they don't like? And after a week, the other girl ended up leaving the company because I think she just said mentally, it's a lot. Too much. Like we said in the ballet company, you start with ballet class every day, which can feel very exposing. Anything you feel like you aren't your strength, you're insecure about, can feel quite intense. I was coming to class every day, not enjoying it, doing rehearsals again, learning all this choreography, thinking, am I even going on tour? Like what's happening? Feeling like I'm being sort of watched and auditioned for my job every day. And also we had, you know, in the company, we'd have sort of covers, sort of like how swings. You have swings and there'd be covers. Obviously, I'm looking at them thinking, are they going to replace me like next week? Gosh. So I had this experience, and I think it really like knocked me back and really kind of hurt. Yeah, really knocked my confidence and self-belief in myself. And then we get to the last day of rehearsals, nothing's been said. So I turn up on the Monday to get on the coach to go on tour, and no one says anything. So then I go on stage for the opening night, and I was almost sort of thinking, I don't want to address it, make a big deal of it. I'm just going to like go on stage, do the part. And I think it was a few weeks into the tour, I went up to the ballet mistress and I sort of said, am I staying? What's going on? And she was like, yeah, you can stay and do the rest of the tour. And that was it. And it was never really spoken about. And so I sort of carried on the rest of the tour. But I think it really tainted my experience in this ballet company and learning how, like, you know, going on stage every night where you don't feel good enough, you don't feel like you're wanted in the company, feeling really like insecure, but having to go on stage and like pretend you're confident every night. That was quite intense. And then while I was in the ballet company, there was an audition for the Phantom UK tour. Auditioned for that, was lucky enough to get a place, and it worked out perfectly because my contract to this ballet company ended, and 2 weeks later we started rehearsals for the tour. So it was one of those moments where you just thought, it was meant to be, like it's so good. So we started the tour, and I think looking back now, I went into the tour still not really like believing myself. I think I was still hurting quite a lot from that. Anyway, but I was so excited to be in Phantom, like really loved all the rehearsals, everything. We do maybe like 3 weeks of shows, and then COVID happens.
3 weeks in?
I think it was about maybe 3 weeks. I don't think we did that many shows. Felt like you were just getting like the taste of what it was like to be in Phantom of the Opera. You know, all the theatres were shut. And then we got told that they were going to be opening the West End cast again, and managed to get an audition for it. Went to the audition, then called me and said, like, you hadn't got the job. Obviously, I was very upset, but I guess I kind of thought, I don't know, we don't know what they're looking for. And theatre had been closed for so long. I was like, everyone's going to be auditioning, trying to get a job. So, like, you do these things to justify, you know, just because I was just on the tour doesn't mean you're going to do the West End. And then there was this day, this moment really like sticks out in my mind. Like I picture where I was when this situation happened. And I was looking at my phone and seeing there was like What's on Stage article, and it was like Phantom of the Opera, West End opening cast. And I remember looking at it and then seeing, and it was all the names of all the girls who were the corps de ballet cast on the Phantom tour, apart from myself. And that was the moment I realized, oh, everyone got the job from the tour apart from myself. It makes me feel a bit sick. You know, I can just like remember how that felt in that moment. And I was like, oh, okay. I think the situation that happened in the ballet company really like knocked my confidence and self-esteem. And then sort of this happened, so I was at a bit of a moment.
Well.
Yeah, you're sort of thinking, okay, this is starting to feel a bit personal now. So that was tricky, and I struggled quite a lot with that situation. And then so the West End cast opened in the summer. Fast forward to the January, I got a call one day. And literally, this is another moment I can like picture where I was. I was like walking to Oxford Circus tube station, get a call from someone in Cameron's office, and they sort of said like, "Hi, Jasmine." Obviously, I'm like, "Hello."
Yes.
And they said, "We've had a bit of a situation. Lots of the corps de ballet in the West End have COVID. The choreography. We've got your costumes. How do you feel about coming back for a couple of weeks and filling in?" And I was like, "Yes." Before they'd even laid out like when I was starting, I was like, "Yes, I'll be there." I ended up coming back, doing like a little refresh rehearsal because it'd been a while, I'd been like all the COVID and everything. And then I think it was like the end of that week on stage
West End
doing the show, which was crazy. You have like little pet talks with yourself. And I remember thinking, because I was really nervous for that opening show, because I felt very vulnerable with Phantom. There was a lot of hurt, there was a lot of emotions and everything. And I had a lot of those thoughts in my head, and I was thinking, oh, what if I go on stage and everyone thinks like, oh yeah, that's the girl that didn't get the job, and oh yeah, I can see why. Or I was having all these like crazy kind of thoughts in my head, and I like remember having this like pep talk with myself and thought, I've been in this situation sort of like before, where I've had a job and they said, we're not sure about you, okay, you can come back. I was like, I've literally been here before. It's almost like I didn't learn lessons the first time, and the universe was like, let's go again. Let's learn something. Being like, okay, last time this situation, I just feel like I spiraled and it knocked my confidence and it really got me down. I was like, we're sort of in the same situation again. So I was like, I've got two options. I can either just let all the negativity like get in my head, done this before, I've been down that road, or I need to just be like, you got to fake it till you make it. I'm going to be strong about this. I'm going to go on stage. I'm going to find some confidence from like somewhere, and we're just going to like give it everything we've got. And I was like, that's what I need to do this time around. Like, I need to do things differently. I think I kind of like chose that option, even though I didn't feel strong, but I was like, I'm going to be strong. So that's kind of how I felt coming back into Phantom. I think it was meant to be maybe a couple of weeks. I was meant to be an emergency swing, and then I think I ended up doing it for 5 months, I think.
Oh my days!
I ended up doing it from the January till the rest of the contract in the summer. Obviously, at the time, that experience didn't feel good, but now I think I'm quite a different performer because of that experience. And I think I realised I wouldn't have said I was like a particularly like strong person before. I always thought I was quite like an emotional person and everything, but now I'm like, no, do you know what? That took some guts, and like I was really strong, and that was like a brave thing to do and come back. And then I was just really lucky that summer. Two of the corps de ballet were leaving, and I ended up being offered one of the tracks, the Trident track that I do now, which was the track when I was in ballet school that I always wanted to do. I always wanted to be the Trident. So it was all like, it all worked out like in a weird way. I ended up being in the show full time, like in my own track. I think I came back rehearsal period for that time a very different person to how I felt when I first rehearsed for the Phantom like UK tour. I like believed in myself a lot more. I've really proven myself. I've shown you. And I think I was like, okay, I know what my weaknesses are, but I knew my strengths for the first time. And I think as a dancer before that, I didn't know what my strengths were, and I don't think I had any sort of thing. There were, ups and downs like every performer has, but I feel like I came out stronger for it. I think it is one of those careers where like it's very rare for anyone to have like a plain sailing career. But I think in the time, those moments, it feels so awful. But I think if you can learn from it, like the kind of first time I didn't, but if you can, the second time I did, and I kind of pulled some strength from it. And when there's days where I'm feeling not very confident, or maybe I am feeling a bit like, I'm not sure if I'm fully believe in myself, I think back to those moments, I'm like, I got through that, I've done that, I've done harder things, so I can do this.
It's not what you would have imagined how you achieve your dreams.
Yes.
One day you just debuted on the West End.
I know, I'd always dreamed of like opening Phantom in the West End, and my debut wasn't in a situation that was the ideal or not how I dreamed it, so I was sort of fighting with all these feelings. And obviously everyone was like, she West End debut, like you must be so excited. And I was like, I'm excited, but I'm also feeling very unsure, very like not very confident. It wasn't how I thought it was going to be. But I guess that's the nature of the career as well. Like it's so out of our control that you can't plan. It's been really nice, and it's really like nice. It was quite emotional when I think about, I started this job in such like it felt like a really like bad kind of like situation, and now I'm like in such a lucky situation. So it just goes to the space for a few years, like so much can change. And if you're auditioning, you get like a no for a certain job, it kind of just goes to show like no doesn't always mean like, you know, no forever. Like things can change.
If you were to like speak to yourself when you first heard about the ballet job thing, what do you think you would have told her?
I think I would have sort of told myself that this career is based so much on like other people's opinions. You know, every time you go to audition, it's you could be perfect and there could be someone next to you that's also perfect, but the audition panel might think for some reason like them more, and that's nothing to do with you. Other people's decisions making like big decisions for us. And if you think you're good for something and you think you possess all the right skills and you think, you know, yeah, realistically I'm castable in this, don't let that other people's like no's or opinions of you knock it. And trust yourself, and because you're not gonna be able to please everyone. It is out of your control, so all you can do is have confidence in yourself and know what your strengths are and know what you're good at.
I feel like it's weird as well, like with those rejections that you never find out why.
And that can be hard, and I think because everyone always you know
like,
says like it's never personal, it's never personal. I think
like,
that's maybe why I struggled. Those two rejections, obviously it did feel personal, which is the kind of the reassurance you always hang on to when you get a no, like, but sometimes there's so much that goes into making choices that you'll never know, and by trying to think out what it is or figure out, you're just gonna go crazy and drive.
The theatre world can be quite loud and like consuming sometimes, and as someone who's quieter, I feel like sometimes I'm quite quiet as well. What do you think are some boundaries that you've set?
It is like an industry filled with like a lot of loud people. Do you feel like, do I like fully fit in here? Am I quite different to other people? And something I found is there's actually like being a quieter person in theatre like is okay. And I think I struggled with that for a long time, especially in my like years at like school and kind of early 20s. I always felt like being quiet was seen as like being bad,
being not good.
Not good, like a not so good trait
to
have. Some people would maybe think you weren't capable in the same way that louder people were, because I think everyone knows like to go on stage, you know, you have to be confident, but you do, but you can do that quietly. You can be a quiet person, and that doesn't mean you can't go on stage and be confident. I remember a particular moment at ballet school. We all had to go in one by one in our third year and talk with all like the head of the ballet department about what we wanted to do when we were graduating, what our sort of hopes and dreams were. And I was always very like quiet at ballet school, quiet in ballet class, and I sort of went into this chat. I felt quite confident because I knew what I wanted to do. I was like, I want to be in Phantom of the Opera, and I was like, and I was having these chats with the ballet staff, and I remember one of my ballet teachers turning around to me and saying, "Oh, you're so different, like out of class." I think she was really shocked that I would just sort of come in and be like, "Yep, I know what I want to do." I think people do sometimes associate or don't maybe believe in you as much if you're sort of quiet, but I think there's a lot of strengths to have in a quiet. I remember being in rehearsals, not here, but in rehearsals somewhere else. I remember there'd be quite a lot of like loud people, but I feel like when you're quiet, you like hear a lot of things as well.
I feel that. I know a lot of
I'd always hear like the corrections, like, I'd be like the arms on like 4, and I'd like clock that, and there'd always be a trio talking, and then they'd 5 minutes later they'd ask, what counts the arm on? I think, I heard that 5 minutes ago, you were just listening. So I've kind of learned to be like, it's okay, like you can have a career in the industry and be quiet, and you don't have to change. I think maybe sometimes I feel like I slip into like people pleasing quite easily. So I feel like using the word no, so I'm learning to like be better at to have these boundaries.
We do 8 shows a week, and on top of that you do so much more. Like you ran 2 half marathons, you gym, you have an active social life. How do you protect your energy and balance everything so well?
With the running thing, that was sort of like a new hobby I found while I was at Phantom. I've actually just signed up for another half marathon.
Did you?
The Hackney Half in May.
Hackney Half is fun.
I'm excited to do like a big
Can't wait
one.
to go.
Obviously training for a half marathon, doing the half marathon on a 1 day off, coming back to do the show on a Monday. It is a lot. I'm not saying like, it's fine, it's easy. But I think I really enjoy it. I found a lot of value in like having a hobby and something I can sort of commit to, and having something I can achieve that isn't associated to dance and career. The amazing thing about our career is we do our hobby for our job. It can come very intertwined with like your identity, which isn't a bad thing. I think it's naturally going to happen when you're so passionate about your job. It's such a big part of your life. But then it can come a bit scary, sort of like, if I wasn't doing the show, like, do I have any hobbies? Like, what do I actually like doing that isn't anything to do with theatre? So I think that's why I kind of really went into running, because I found this saying, and I was like, I really like it, and I can do races, have this feeling of achievement, and it's nothing to do with theatre or what I do. Sometimes I think back to like when I was doing so much as when I was in a ballet company, so much physically. You sort of remind yourself, you're like, can do a lot. Like, ballet dancers are powerful, you know? And I feel like this is like, you know, the youngest you're ever going to be. Like, especially as dancers, like our bodies, you know, as we get older, there are going to be more aches and pains, and we're not going to be as flexible and things. It's a bit of a blessing, do you know what I mean? On the days where I'm a bit still and tired, I'm like, I'm young, do you know what I mean? My body's not going to feel like this forever. So
it like comes with like a gratefulness.
Yeah, I guess we've been busy in the social life, and it is hard in this job when we get one day off. So much of organising your time, carving time out for, you know, people that you know matter, and also being, like we said earlier, being okay with saying no. Do you know what I mean? You can't do everything when we work 6 days a week. All of us would probably want to see our friends more than we do, which is a struggle. Especially friends that maybe aren't in the industry, because, you know, they have like full weekends and everything. And I think that is hard. And I think every performer does struggle with that balance of the work life.
Even though, like, you know, you also have your plate full and you also have times where you're struggling a lot, but you always like show up for other people. Why is that always a priority for you?
Friendships are so important in this industry. I think it is so important to be there for each other. There's going to be so many times you want you and your friends to be thriving all at the same time. Like, there is going to have that unbalance sometimes, and there are going to be times where your friends are doing things and you think, I wish I was doing that. I think you have to show up with kindness and be supportive, and you're allowed to be jealous of your friends, like that's okay, but I think you have to show up and check in with your friends, be, you know, their cheerleaders, because a few years later it could switch and you could be the one who's in the career highlights, and your friends might be like on the audition scene and finding it hard. And I found out I didn't get Phantom in the West End. Obviously all the girls I was friends with from tour, they got the job and they opened, and I came to watch the show. Not gonna lie, it was a tough watch, but I was like, I know this is the right thing to do, because as much as I'm really hurting right now, but my friends are all having their West End debut, I should go and watch them and support them. And we're so lucky, especially in our dressing room, we are such a close knit. We can always be there together. And that's so nice we have that now, when we're all like, woo, we're all in Phantom and West End. But you know, there's going to be times where, you know, we're back in the audition scene and stuff's going to be hard. And I think having those people you've built that like true bond with, you know, you can call that person. It's going to be people that are going to be there. You know, we spend so much time in that dressing room. We're here 6 days a week. Like, we know everything about each other's lives. Obviously, when, you know, we all leave here and everyone's doing different things, it's harder to keep that same level. But it will just be a different kind of friendship. Life is so like that. I think community and friendship is so important. You can always control how much you show up for your friends. That is something that can be consistent in a career that's like, whoa.
I think we're at the last question. You already branch out to things such as like beauty, fitness shoots. Is that something that you want to do or pursue in the future?
Yeah, I suppose with like the beauty shoots and the bridal shoots, that wasn't something I like decided to go in. It came about in a very weird way. It happened, and then I started doing it, and then I've been doing it for like 4 years. I think the thing I struggle with, and I feel like lots of people struggle with in performing, is uncertainty. There's not much like security in the work. And obviously with this kind of modelling stuff I've done, that's sort of like a similar industry, can just sort of be here and there. So I'm not sure what I'd like to venture into next. In an ideal world, I'd like to try and find something that gives me a bit more security. A lot of performers have that, it's always in the back of their mind, even when you're in a job and you're like, okay, amazing, but it's a yearly contract, that's quite stressful.
But then I also see like older people like Helen building.
I know, because when I watched Helen's interview, her career's been so long, and it's like worked out while we're in the luxury of, okay, we're in a year contract now. So thinking about those things.
We've done all the questions. I'm gonna give you some random questions about whether this is icky about a man. If his shoes are always suspiciously clean.
Not icky, but maybe I'd be thinking, how much money are you spending on shoes?
Okay. I also feel like you're quite like not easily icked out.
Yeah, I like to think I'm open-minded, understanding.
What if they have really long nails?
Really long nails? No, thank you.
What if they hop over puddles? They're walking and then he goes,
hot skimming. No, but like a grangette. I'd be like, leave the dancing to me.
What if he plays the guitar at you?
Jessie, I love you.
Oh. Playing the guitar's not on it. Like a boy who's got hobbies. I don't know if I'd love that. Giving affection's nice, but maybe I don't need it in musical form.
Do you have preference with industry or non-industry?
Maybe non-industry, just in the fact that I think it's nice to keep things separate. I pretend most people in the industry are with people in the industry, so it definitely can work. The great thing about meeting someone in the industry is they get it. You don't have to explain the kind of thing of like what it means when you're auditioning. It feels on the flip side, the nice thing about someone who's out of the industry, it kind of feels like, you know, a whole other world. It reminds you of like the whole other world that's out there.
That is so true.
There's pros and cons.
What if he doesn't like cats?
Red flag.
You're
Red
not dating
flag.
that man.
Silver cat was here first.
Men come second. Okay, I'm gonna stop grilling you about men.
From Johnny.
No. Oh, that's it.
That's it.
Done it.
Wow.
Oh, Jesse, you're so great.
We could just keep chatting for ages.
I know.
It's a shame we have another show to do. Lock it in.
Please be my friend. Thanks for being on my podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Guys, come watch her.
Bye.
Bye.